Hello, this is Cynthia Sumner, owner and founder of Healing Leaf, and welcome to this training call today. We're going to be talking about fasting and cleansing, nourishing and rebuilding through fasting and cleansing. And I want to share an experience that I just recently had. So I have done many cleanses in these past 15 years of cleaning out my vessel, cleaning out my body, and opening up to receiving those nutrients and clearing out my mind. And I've tried all sorts of different cleanses. And the really great thing about cleansing is there's not just one right way. There's many different ways that you can do it. And the most important part is freeing up your digestive system. So I want to tell you a story about Dr. Joel Fuhrman. He's a medical doctor. If you haven't heard from him before, he had been in practice for 5 or 6 years, went through all the schooling, all of those years in education and working to get to become a medical doctor. And after 5 or 6 years, he was frustrated because he felt like he was just giving more medication, doing more surgeries, and nobody was really getting better. And so he decided to really start studying nutrition. And what he teaches is, when I read his book, I was so excited because here is this medical doctor who most people really like those credentials. It helps them to trust a person when they have that education. And so the fact that he taught exactly what I'm teaching was really cool. And he has so many patients that he's worked with, testimonial after testimonial of people that have gone to him and that are going to him and healing, because he teaches them what to eat, how to get out and move their body, to meditate, de-stress, get in the sun, all of those wonderful and amazing natural ways to heal. He has a book called Fasting and Eating for Health. I highly recommend it. It's not just about fasting and cleansing, but it also talks about many different subjects along the healing, natural healing ways. And so he talks about drugs and treatment in autoimmune diseases, in cancer, in diabetes, and pretty much anything you can think of. He covers a great amount in this book. And he shares an experience he had. So when he was younger, his father had done a water fast. His father was really into natural healing, and he watched his father heal through this extended fast. I believe it was like a 60-day, maybe a 30-day water fast. For those of you that are like, whoa, that is crazy. That's why I'm here to share with you that our body functions in a way that we don't understand all the way, and so we have these beliefs, that these things that we've been taught, and we feel like that's just how it is, but there are other ways to doing things, and that's why it's good to get educated, and then you can decide what you think. And that's what I love about light and knowledge, is there's so much to learn from, and then we as our own individual people get to believe what feels right to us. So later, as Dr. Fuhrman became a professional athlete, he had an ankle injury. And he tried everything, and it wasn't getting better, and he tried doctor after doctor after doctor, medication after medication, therapy after therapy, and he finally thought, you know what, the only thing that's left is to do a water fast like my father did. So he went in with a doctor monitored water fast. So it was at a healing center. And if I remember right, it was 60 days. And he said after years of trying to heal his ankle, knowing that nothing worked, and to feel it and watch it heal during that cleanse was just absolutely miraculous. He said moles that he had his whole life on his body were gone. And other healing happened in his body, because what happens is your body takes the energy it would have from food and it starts healing the body. So we think, well, wouldn't he die? We need food to survive. But what happens is you start using the buildup that's unneeded inside of your body, and then it starts eating away any growth that you have, any buildup in your blood, in your arteries. And I want to share this, that he has, in his book, Fasting and Eating for Health, it's on page 16, and this subtitle is called Fasting is Not New. He says, fasting has been used as a healing modality throughout recorded history. Socrates, Plato, Hippocrates, for example, all recommended fasting for various physical conditions. Our species has survived on the earth for the last 400,000 years, partially because of the incomprehensible design of nature that enables us to survive under various circumstances, including going without food for prolonged periods of time. Built into our genetic code is the ability to instruct the body exactly what to do to survive in a period of famine, food scarcity, or natural disaster when food is unavailable for prolonged periods. Obviously, the body functions normally for quite a long time when no food but only water is ingested. Extended religious fasts were frequently practiced by followers as far as Eastern religions and in the early days of Christianity, especially during the Middle Ages. So it goes on to talk about how these famous healers used the water fasting therapy and how effective they were. So it's something to think about and research, and I highly recommend this book to understand it better and to understand the different ways that you can cleanse and do fasting. So cleansing and fasting are two different things. I should make a note of that, because when you completely stop ingesting any kind of calories and you just drink water, your body can heal much faster. So in another book, and from an author I've referred to often, is N.W. Walker. And what he shares is when he had his situation when he was in his early 20s where he almost died. He had a friend that had told him, if you're ever in a situation where you're very sick, just stop eating. And he remembered thinking, what? Why would you do that? But something inside him told him to do that. So he stopped eating and he just drank water and he rested and eventually started getting better. And he was supposed to die like the next day or within that week. And as he gained energy back, he started getting up and moving, and he started juicing carrots, grating carrots and catching the juice, squeezing it into a cup and drinking it. And he healed himself because he gave his body a break. And most of us aren't eating full life food. Most of us are putting a burden on our body with the things that we're eating. And even regular wholesome food takes a lot of energy to digest and to break down that food and absorb the nutrients. So to save that energy, to allow our bodies to heal. Now, the other side of that is to cleanse and nourish emotionally. And so when we think about cleanses, we usually think doing a juice fast or, cutting back on any processed food. But it is an emotional thing as well. So our emotions have a very real energy and life force. There's a real vibration with every thought. And most of us are carrying many beliefs and energies that are negative, that are resonating or that are staying within our body, and to become aware of those and move them out. And one way that I recommend doing that is to journal every day all of your thoughts. And what I like to do is write down anything that's negative, anything that I'm angry about or stressed about or sad about, and write it all down. And then I'll tear it up, just to signify I'm letting this go. And then I write down everything I'm grateful for. And I really think about it and let my heart swell with that feeling of gratefulness and love. And that can replace the negative that you moved out. And this is really important to do daily. So journaling and being aware of what we're feeling. And if you really stop and ask, you will get some answers. Because most of us don't understand, we're not aware of what we're feeling. But if we stop and listen, then we will get those answers. I highly recommend the documentary Emotion, and you can find that on fmtv.com. And I'm wondering if I referred this last time. because it's sounding familiar as I give it. It's worth me referring to it again if I did. That's how profound it is and how informational it is. So fmtv.com, that will give you access to a 10-day free trial on that site. And if you have watched it, I would recommend watching it again and make sure you take notes. And it will give you a lot of tips and some great information on understanding how our emotions can be toxic as well. So we need to cleanse physically and emotionally. And this opens up our heart and our mind and puts our spirit in the forefront so that we can really feel that energy and vitality. And I've probably referred to this one before as well, but another book that is a wonderful, wonderful read is called The Grape Cure. And it's by Johanna Brandt, and she was able to heal her cancer. She had colon cancer, and it took her years to really figure it out, but she did some really extensive cleansing. And she talks about the emotional cleansing that she was just inspired to do. She just felt prompted, had little thoughts come into her mind on how she needed to manage her emotions to really heal along with the physical fasting. And so she teaches in there that when you heal, when you work on your emotions, it's healing you physically as well. And when you work on your physical side, it opens up healing for you emotionally. And so it really is intricately connected. So be aware, be willing to take some of those steps, even if it's just a half a day where you do a cleanse, where you drink just fresh juice or just water or just green smoothies. Do something that frees up your digestive system with the thought in mind that you're cleansing, and then journal or write down some thoughts, or go for a run, and as you're running, think about those things you want to let go of, and then always replace them with something true. Because when we move thoughts, when we think and we choose to move them out, it leaves a space, and we need to replace it with something positive. If you would like more information on cleansing and fasting, this book is absolutely amazing, Fasting and Eating for Health by Joel Fuhrman, medical doctor. And then I also recommend N.W. Walker's book, Fresh Vegetable and Fruit Juice. So those are two amazing resources. And if you are looking for more support and education, I would highly recommend, and I invite you to join us with this healing program where hundreds of people have been able to move forward and heal emotionally, physically, and spiritually in an organized program that is one of the top healing programs in America. So I invite you to join us, and you can respond to this email for more information. Share this recorded call with anybody that you feel is open and wanting this information. And until next time, I hope you try a little experience with fasting, emotionally and spiritually. All right, have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you next time.